So on this channel, I primarily play a really good indie game called Splunky 2. But as you know, there are a lot of indie games that are just lack passion and seem uninspired and are just flat out bad. Just look at the Nintendo eShop and click on recent releases and best deals. You'll see basically every single one that exists. And I've already made a video on this, but you can see some on the screen I'm going to show. It's just so bad. So in step to this game, it's called Fluster Cluck. And I've really got to, check how I speak, because if I say it wrong, it's just going to get flagged because it sounds like, what you thought of when I first said it. Kind of ironic because the game actually is a cluster, what. And like I alluded to earlier, it does live up to its name because according to thegamer.com, this game is Metacritic's worst rated indie game of all time with a 37 out of 100. Yes, 37, which is, like I just said, historically bad. It's really hard to get a score that low because usually there's 2 or 3 90s to 100s that'll just boost it up to at least a 50, but not this one. So, Fluster Cluck, God, anyway, is an indie party game only on the PS4, released in 2014, interestingly enough, not on any other platforms. And the gameplay is really just terrible. You're an employee of a chicken distribution company, and your goal is to turn other animals into chickens to feed the galaxy.
In a world where everything is powered by chicken and anything can become chicken, Chicken Coop, the galaxy's renowned leader in applied chickenizing technologies.
And I know it's a game, and I play games that have enemies that look like this, but it's just so odd to me, the concept. I don't know, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's a game, but what? And by the way, that concept is never really touched on the rest of the game. It doesn't really have a story besides what I just said, so you just kind of have to accept that. It just is what it is, I guess. That's what you're doing. Do you achieve it? I don't know. I know that party games don't have, elaborate stories, but, I played Mario Party DS when I was a kid, and it still had a story that I was interested in. So it does have a single-player campaign, but the focus is on the local multiplayer. The campaign mode is super basic, and a fun little tidbit I saw on one of the reviews is when you win, there's nothing. There's no celebration or anything. It just, kind of abruptly ends, and it's just really weird. The levels are uninspiring. There's just not a ton of, different cool looks in the levels. It's just kind of basic and plain. The controls are really terrible. The good luck making any sharp turns is basically impossible, as you can see by, the gameplay being shown on the screen. The enemy AI is really bad. You're going to win unless, you shoot yourself in the foot with the controls and all that, but even then it's hard enough to win. But I guess in this game, basically no one wins, so it's hard to win, hard to lose, it's just I don't even know. It's hard to describe how bad it is, basically. And also the power-ups aren't very good, and it's just not very fun. And also, I just love looking at the shortened versions of the reviews on Metacritic.com. This one from a website apparently just called Worth Playing. 30 out of 100, and it just simply says there's absolutely no reason to grab this one, especially at its rather high price point. I couldn't find the price point online because, obviously, if you can even buy it at this point, well, I guess you can physically, but you get what I'm saying. They probably don't even want to say because they're just so embarrassed. But I will say, if it was over $20, that is an absolute disgrace. And then you have the lowest score, which is from the 6th Axis. It's probably the worst game I've ever played. It fails in so many departments, and like in Space We Brawl, pales in comparison to other local multiplayer games currently out on the PlayStation 4. And look, the thing about bad games is that usually it has some redeeming qualities. A lot of bad games are just dumb fun or laughably bad, laughably fun because it's so bad, but this game just doesn't have any of it. The worst types of games are the ones that are bad and boring. And this game is bad and boring. It's not really fun at all. The type of games that it sucks, but it's still fun. This game is not that at all. This game has no fun at all. And I really just ask, like, why would one play this when so many other better games exist? Like, for example, why would you choose this over Mario Party or Super Smash Bros. Or anything else? And obviously this game was released in 2014, so no one's talking about it anymore. But even back then, I mean, still, Smash Bros. Existed, and, you know, a new game was going to come out soon. Mario Party obviously existed, and just so many other better party games that it'd be a waste of time to list them, because I'd have to list them all, because it's probably the worst party game of all time. It also has no online multiplayer, so if you like the game, you have to have friends, which, you know, we're gamers, so not all of us have a lot of friends. And if you do, you just have a few usually. But anyway, before I describe my whole life, let's talk more about this game. Like, I think that the only redeeming quality I found is that if you have kids or a young kid and you have nothing else to play, maybe it could be a little bit of fun. But why? Like, just like I said, just give them Super Smash Bros. Or Mario Party. That's what I played as a kid, and it was fun. This isn't fun. Even people that are 8 to 12 years old will know that it's a cluster F, you know, how to finish that. Yeah, and then really just like lastly, I mean, look at the trailer on PlayStation I'm showing currently. It just flashes a bunch of random red words on the screen with arrows, like power up, ingredients, hat, guns, other players, chicken, like what? Like, God, I'm an ingredient. Like, I don't know. It's just so weird. Like, it's just, as someone that edits videos and puts them together, this is just a joke. Like, this doesn't make me want to play the game at all. It just makes me want to make a video about it 10 years later and talking about how bad it is. If the goal of the trailer was to make people not want to play this game, it did a great job. But, yeah. I think there's not really much else to say about this game other than that. You know, I think that the reviews speak for themselves. I'll link, you know, it down below to the page where you can read the full reviews. I read some of them. And yeah, that's all you'll get to know basically everything that I'm talking about, because, I mean, there was actually one good review. One person gave it an 80 out of 100 for critic reviews. I don't know how after reading and seeing all this, but I guess someone liked it. But, you know, we're all different. We all have different opinions. Someone's gonna like something that no one else does. But yeah, that's all I have to say, so thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next video.